what is the impact of stress, do you think? Reduced attendance, difficulty concentrating? Maybe people want to put their own thoughts in the chat. Things take longer, so we're more inefficient. We're rude or snappy with people when we're under stress, clients, prospects, the team, family. People leave or avoid us. The body's actual response to a perceived threat is what we know as fight or flight, which actually means that the body takes the blood supply away from the thinking brain and from the immune system and sends it to the extremities, the arms and legs, fight or run. So the body's instinctive response to a threat or a perceived threat is to reduce our capacity for clear thought and to take the blood supply away from the immune system, which actually makes us more susceptible to disease. And it's instantaneous. The body's very clever. It's doing this to protect you. If you're walking along your local high street and you bump into a saber-toothed tiger, this can sometimes happen here in Scotland, or a number 7 bus, it really doesn't matter. If you're going to step off the pavement, the bus is coming. The body wants you to jump first, think later. It doesn't want you to stand there and go, oh, look, it's the number 7 bus. It's early. So you jump. Oh, my watch has answered me. So you jump, then you think about it. Well, that was close. Bus is early. And it doesn't matter whether it's a real event or an imagined event. If you're watching a scary movie on the television and something jumps out at you, you jump. And in that same instance, your heart rate changes, your breathing rate changes, your body temperature changes. Your body releases chemicals into the bloodstream. You get goosebumps, physical changes. The body releases adrenaline and cortisol, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's the body's immediate response to stress, and whether it's a real stress or a perceived stress. It doesn't matter if it's on the television. So that's okay in small doses, but these are quite literally jittery chemicals. So small doses might get you up and moving, might get you out the road of a perceived threat. But the challenge at the moment is we're getting it close on 24 hours a day. So whether you think that this is something that affects you or not, it's affecting the people around us. And in doing so, it will have an impact on us. So I hope you can agree that taking care of your own well-being makes sense. There was a survey recently with the ACCA, joint report, I think ACCA and International Federation of Accountants, that pointed out this is high on the agenda for many. Attitudes are changing towards it. And the generations as they come through are looking for more and more support within the workplace. But you've got to put on your oxygen mask first. Not in much, that's a bit of an old cliche, but you're not in much of a position to help anybody else if you're struggling yourself.
It's identifying it in the first place, isn't it, Gordon? It's identifying it, which I do think that, you know, I'm a little bit older by 1 year to be in the millennial category, but Gen Z seem to just be more, and millennials just be more aware of it, whereas others, we're just not identifying it as easily as maybe some of the younger generation are, maybe. Yes,
awareness is a good thing. Usually, there's an expression in NLP that says awareness is progression. Just by being aware, you've moved forward already. But it's then giving them the tools to do something about it is what I feel is missing. I would say straight away, I think we've covered most of this, but I would say straight away, I'm not a medical doctor. If you're taking medical advice, then please continue to do so. This is complementary, it's not replacement. So my aim is just to make you more resilient, in a stronger position, more able to deal with what life sends your way, because the universe will send you challenges. Stress is quite interesting. Someone might feel stressed running your local sweetie shop if all the kids come in at lunchtime. Somebody else is running the country. Well, that's maybe not a good example. Somebody else.
For politics.
Somebody else might be a pilot on an airplane. Might be a better example. But if we're dealing with what's in our normal sphere, what we're used to, then we're fine. The minute it goes out with that, that's potentially where we become stressed, or this feeling of stress. The stress potentially is just an indicator. If you knew what was going to happen today and tomorrow and the next day, and you knew you were prepared for it, what stress would you have? So what I'm driving at is the powers in our own hands. Our doctor cannot write a prescription for happiness. Power must be in our own hands, and we have to take responsibility for this. Happiness is a feeling, and a feeling is generally derived from something else. And the position of some is that feelings derive from our thoughts. And stick with me here, because this could be liberating. This means that whatever's going on in the world, potentially, if you've got control of your thinking, then you've got the power to choose how you feel in any given moment. Let's try a little experiment if you're happy to play along and see what I'm saying has any substance. Just for a moment, I'd like you to think about something you love. Something you love to do, somebody you love to be with. Can you try that?
I love daffodils. We were just talking earlier, weren't we, Gordon, how daffodils make me so unbelievably happy after Christmas. They come out just in the early of Jan, and they just make me so happy to smell them. And that's why I have them in my screen, so I can literally look at them all day long.
It's uplifting for the rest of us as well.
Absolutely.
Brightens the place up. As you think about something you love, just notice how you feel inside.
Write it in chat as well if you'd like to share it as well.
Now, if you've done that, see if you can blank that out for a minute and think about something you strongly don't like. Hate's not a word I like to use, but something that you strongly dislike, something or potentially someone or something you really don't like doing. Notice how you feel inside. Different, right? So you can go back to thinking about what you love. My question for you is, who was in charge of that process? Me or you? You were, right? You got to choose. And how you felt was based on what you focused on. And you were in charge. When I invited you to think about something you don't like, you could just as easily have said, well, you can think about something you don't like if you want, Gordon. I'm quite happy thinking about my daffodil. Or whatever it was you were focused on. Couldn't you? In fact, you could have done anything in your head.
Steph just said, actually, her nephew brings her the most joy. So just sharing that, because I think, again, that's a lovely, warm thing to share, isn't it?
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Steph. So what you choose to focus on, and you could do anything in your head. People don't know necessarily. So, and there's no time really in your head. You could be back at school. You could be learning to drive a car. You could be on your next holiday, all in your head. And nobody knows. You're never bored again once you realize this stuff. You could do anything.